Then they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love, by our love.
Hey everybody, it's two
old people sitting on a couch.
I didn't even think Mary thought the video was recording. She's looking at the dogs.
Well, the dogs are all over me.
Yeah, well, that's because they have good taste. Yes. So, oh my gosh, crazy dogs.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to By Our Love. And today we are talking about dogs all over us. When your actions don't match your worldview. And what's going on with that? What do you? Why do you think that happens sometimes, Miss Mary? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'm puzzled. I guess it's ignorance or being blinded or something. I don't know. But
or maybe not even knowing you have a worldview.
That's true.
And having it laid out specifically. That's maybe something that, we have talked about biblical worldview a lot. So what we're specifically talking about is Zohran Mamdani won election for mayor in New York City I think it was pretty legit. He won the...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, well, here we go. Conspiracy theorist right here next to me.
No. Just reality in certain respects.
Oh, my. So out of his mouth, and we have clips below you can click on to
verify this.
Verify what we're saying. These words have come out of his mouth. He wants to seize the means of production and abolish private property. Does that ring or sound like anything we've talked about in the past?
Communism.
So for people saying, hey, New York's elected a communist.
They have.
He's been pretty blatant about it. Maybe not so much when he was running, but the clips we have are from the past. And abolition of private property and seizing the means of production. Yeah, that's the way you can make everybody equally miserable. Yeah, except for
himself.
You. Except for himself, yeah. So another thing communism is 100% for. So we have these statements that he made that don't lean communism, are communistic statements. Then we also know from our studies that communism is opposed to the church. It's basically a materialistic worldview, and it is opposed to the family. In communist countries, the families are raised by the government, basically. So, freaking out here. No. So what do you think about that, my dear?
Well, I think that we need to continue to pray for our country. I think we need to be bold in our faith. I think because obviously he hates Christianity. So.
Well, has he said that?
Oh, he's a Muslim.
Oh, yeah. So now he's a Muslim too. Well,
yes.
We've elected other Muslims. That's not the Muslims have different branches, but keep going.
Yes. Yeah.
And not every Muslim wants to overthrow our country.
That's true.
Just some of them.
Yes. Well, I would say.
Now, we will say this, though, that every communist wants to overthrow our country because it's the very nature of what they believe. Yeah. So here's a mathematical fact. This is what we're talking about. Oh, Jack's bringing math into it again. Well, yeah, I can't help it. It's the way my brain works. But here's a mathematical fact. If you win the election in New York City, that means you have won most of the votes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Matt, you have gotten most of the votes. Which means that people who are Jewish and Christian have inevitably voted for you.
Yes.
So why is that a problem? That's the whole point here. When your worldview does not match your actions.
Yes.
Why? It's kind of like the sheep are having an election for who their shepherd's going to be. Of course, sheep are too dumb to actually have an election. But let's say the sheep are having an election.
The Bible compares us to sheep. Sorry.
Point well taken. Touche. So the sheep are having an election. Wow. So you're saying this analogy rings truer than I'm. Wow, that's pretty brutal. So the sheep are having an election, and there's two people running. There's Jesus, the shepherd, or just any old shepherd, like King David's the shepherd. And then there's a wolf. And the wolf has got nice little sheep clothes on, but he's still a wolf, isn't he?
Yes.
And the sheep proceed to vote for
The wolf.
the wolf, and the wolf wins the election, and the wolf becomes the shepherd. How's that going to go for the sheep?
Not too good.
Well, it's dinner whenever he wants it, right? Okay. So essentially, if you're a Jew or you are a Christian and you vote for a communist, it's just like the sheep voting for a wolf. Why do I say that?
Well, it's not going to go well for you.
Well, I've done a teaching on governments of God, and communism and socialism are two of the governments human beings use to govern over them, and both of those are blatantly non-biblical.
Yes.
Blatantly non-biblical. Now, why do I say Jews and Christians? I mean, Jews and Christians. Jews don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, but Jews hold to what part of the Bible?
The Old Testament.
The Old Testament, yeah. So what does the Old Testament say about private property? Do you know?
Well, the Old Testament's straight from God says that we have the right, we get our rights from God to have our own fig tree.
We're going to talk about that next week.
We own
Where our rights
our
from
own
come.
private property.
So the Old Testament talks about the right to private property, like Mary pointed out. The fig tree, and next week we're going to go through the 10 Commandments and show how the 10 Commandments are a positive statement of what rights we have, not just a bunch of do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
So Jews should believe in private property, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Jews also should believe in what? What other family? I already said it.
You said it. Family.
Family.
They should believe in family.
The
nuclear family.
The nuclear family. The Old Testament sets out a man shall leave his mother, a woman leave her home, the two shall become one flesh, and they start their own family. So family is a biblical concept. Private property is a biblical concept. And the fact that what you earn, you keep is also a biblical concept. Are any of those concepts part of communism?
No.
No.
Not one of them.
Not one of them. They're completely anti the Bible. It's abolishing private property, taking over the means of production, and as Mamdani has not said, but it's the abolition of family and no God. So what do we call that when you vote for your own demise?
Not too smart.
Yeah. I use a term here that starts with a capital I. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Not understanding this really.
So do you really have a biblical worldview, or are you disconnecting
Yes.
the things going on with the government from your personal beliefs?
Yes.
Should you do that?
No.
No. Does anybody govern, whether it be, at the local level, the state level, the national level, the world level? Does anybody make government decisions that do not include their personal beliefs?
No.
No, because our personal
We
beliefs
can't help it.
determine who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, huge red flag when there are people, Jews and Christians, who are voting for their own demise. It's one of the reasons we do Buy Our Love. I know our viewership is incredibly small, but we're consistent, and we believe it is super important that if you are a Christian, you should have a biblical worldview. You should view the world through a biblical lens, shouldn't you? Does it make any other sense?
No.
No, because where do we find out about Jesus and salvation and what he did for us on the cross?
In the Bible.
Where do we find about government and our rights? Where do we get those?
In the Bible.
In the Bible. So if you're doing something completely contrary to that, that's kind of
Anti-scriptural.
Anti-scriptural and insane. So I can't answer why a communist received votes from Christians and Jews. Any idea?
Just that maybe they just don't have an understanding of biblical worldview and how important that is.
Yeah.
That's all I can,
So next week we are going to be on vacation.
Yay!
But we'll be here. We're recording.
Yes.
So you'll see next week we have the exact same clothes on because we're going to turn this off and then do next week's video so that you won't miss it. And I don't know what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. We going to do a video on Thanksgiving, or are we going to have one for the week of Thanksgiving?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see
We usually do. We probably will.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, or actually for us in about 3 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about where our rights come from.
Yeah.
Biblical worldview, baby. Biblical worldview. Hey, it has been 2 old people and
2 dogs.
2 dogs, and the other one's right
Sleeping.
there. Yes. Sitting on a couch. Hey, God bless. Thanks for joining us, and
pray for our country.
Pray for our country, and pray that you yourself would be consistent with your beliefs.
Amen.
Something we all strive for. And are we always consistent?
No.
No. I am always logical until I'm not. God bless.
God bless you.
Bye.
And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love, by our